While post-Civil War Reconstruction prolonged economic and cultural confusion throughout the South, the Arkansas Ozarks were less affected by the loss of slave labor on cash crop production than other parts of the state. And as the century moved toward its close, railroads and other initiatives began a slow process of economic change that began to remake life in the region. Two components of that change were timber and tourism. Over the years from 1880 to 1910, the Ozarks saw a series of branch rail lines and spurs become full-scale railways spreading from Missouri down across Arkansas. By the end of that period, logging had reached something like gold rush proportions. Specialty woods and pine were important, but the real target for Ozark timbermen in this period was the Ozark white oak. It was used for every kind of construction, but it came into its own as barrel staves. One operation alone grew to produce up to 5,000 barrels per day during its peak years. Without forethought, only prime sections of white oak tree were used. The rest was burned or simply abandoned. By the time of the Great Depression in the 1930s, huge sections of the Ozarks were devastated by timber cutting. Extreme erosion was widespread, and foraging territory for livestock and wildlife was severely damaged. Today, tourism is one of the most important components to the economy of the Ozarks. With cooler summers and only slightly colder winters, visitors often become interested in relocating to the region in retirement or even before retirement.
You can drive from central Arkansas, any place in eastern Arkansas, up into the Ozarks on the same day, and guess what? You lose about 5 degrees in temperature for 5 to 7 degrees in temperature for 1,000 feet in elevation. So it's going to be cooler. It's going to be less humid. Although you get more rain in northern Arkansas than you do in southern usually, but the rain the humidity levels tend to be less.
The Ozark region's chief economic asset is simply its attractiveness, all the factors that combine to make it a place where people want to live. Historically, Washington County's Fayetteville, just to the south of Benton County, was the Ozarks' most prosperous community until recent years. It was an area trade center with relatively easy routes toward regional centers like Kansas City. And, of course, it has been the home of the main campus of the University of Arkansas since the 1870s. Although the University of Arkansas system can justifiably point to the significant impact of its research and service activities on the entire state, its direct effect on Washington County's economy is more traditional. It employs a number of fairly well-paid people, and it causes people to visit the county. Compared to regional averages for salaried workers, the UA Fayetteville faculty and staff commands a fairly large payroll, and that is significant to every component of the local economy. In addition, Razorback sports constitute an important specialized kind of tourism. Thousands of people from every part of Arkansas travel to Fayetteville on football game weekends, and a smaller but still significant number make the trek for major men's basketball games. These people eat, buy gas, and stay overnight. Universities and colleges have similar impact in every Arkansas community where they exist, but UA Fayetteville leads them all in these combined categories.
I think if we play in Little Rock, they'll give you a dollar figure that it brings to the tax base of Little Rock and the central Arkansas. When we play here, they give you the same, and it's $3 or $4 or $5 million of extra tax money that goes into the city, and to help roads, it helps everything. It keeps the tax base down more. So even though that's a side effect, it is factual that when you bring a crowd of people in, they spend money. Our merchandise, we have the far less number of people average than what other schools have, but we are in the top 15 in merchandise sales. We sold, our turnback was 1,500,000. It's gone from about 800,000 in 5 years to $1.5 million in licensing. The Razorback fans everywhere you go. She got a Razorback shirt on. I love it, you know. And we love to see those little kids with a helmet and a McFadden shirt and a hat and at 5 years old. That's what we want. We want everybody in the state of Arkansas to be wearing red and wearing a Razorback on game day. Someday we'll have that.